What role did animals play in colonial Latin America's diseases? Imagine a world where animals are not just part of daily life but also unwitting carriers of illness. During the colonial period in Latin America, animals played a big part in shaping the health of communities. Before Europeans arrived, indigenous groups had close ties with native animals like llamas, guinea pigs, and various birds. They understood these animals well and knew how to live alongside them without much trouble. But everything changed when Europeans brought new animals into the mix. The Spanish and Portuguese explorers introduced horses, cattle, pigs, sheep, goats, and dogs. These animals were useful for work, food, and transportation, but they also carried diseases unknown to the native populations. Many of these illnesses could jump from animals to humans, which is called zoonotic transmission. For example, cattle and pigs could carry bacteria that cause tuberculosis and respiratory infections. When these animals were brought into villages, the diseases spread rapidly among people who had no previous exposure or immunity. Dogs were especially significant during this time. They were used for guarding and hunting, but they also had a darker side. Some dogs were trained to attack indigenous people, spreading fear and trauma. They could also carry diseases that could infect humans, adding to the health problems during conquest. The presence of these animals changed the social and physical environment, making it easier for diseases to spread. European livestock also disrupted local ecosystems. Native animals like deer and small mammals were pushed out or driven to extinction. The new animals changed how land was used, leading to deforestation and water source contamination. These environmental changes created perfect breeding grounds for disease-carrying insects like mosquitoes and flies, which spread illnesses such as malaria and yellow fever. Another key point is how microbes moved between animals and humans. Indigenous communities had their own bacteria strains, like Helicobacter pylori, which caused stomach issues. When Europeans and their animals arrived, they brought new bacteria strains that sometimes caused more severe illnesses. These new microbes could adapt and become more dangerous because of the close contact with animals. Animals also played a role in spreading Chagas disease, caused by a parasite transmitted by insects that nest in certain animals' homes. As European animals changed the landscape, the habitats of these insects shifted, sometimes increasing the risk of infection for nearby communities. The overall impact was a complex web of disease transmission involving animals, humans, and the environment. In Latin American culture, animals were more than just carriers of disease. They actively contributed to the societal upheaval during colonization. Indigenous knowledge about animals and health was often ignored or suppressed. The diseases brought by European animals led to declines in many native communities, leaving a lasting mark on the region's health history. Understanding this helps explain why some illnesses became widespread and why certain groups were more affected than others. It also shows how intertwined human and animal health are, especially during such a transformative period.